You think you make $75,000 a year. You don't. By the time you factor in everything that salary actually costs you, in taxes, in time, in money spent just to keep the job, you are likely earning somewhere between $12 and $18 an hour, maybe less. Most finance channels will show you how to invest your salary, how to budget it, how to negotiate it higher. Not one of them will show you what that salary is actually paying you per real hour of your life. Nobody does this math. And there is a reason for that. The number that comes out the other side is uncomfortable. I ran this calculation on dozens of clients over 8 years. Every single time, the true hourly rate came out 40 to 60% lower than what they expected. Not a little lower. Half. What you do with that number changes everything. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you changes everything. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Alex Carter. I've been working in personal finance for 8 years. In these 8 years, I've helped hundreds of people solve real money problems. And honestly, some of those people's lives completely changed because of it. On this channel, I help everyday people see their money clearly, including the parts that are usually kept out of the conversation. All right, let's get into it. Let me do this math with you in real time because the only way this lands is if you see your own numbers inside it. We start with $75,000. That is the number on the offer letter. That is the number you gave when your parents asked how the new job was going. That is the number that makes you feel like you've arrived. Now let's find out what it actually is. Step 1, taxes. Federal income tax, state income tax, Social Security, and Medicare. For a single filer earning $75,000 in a medium tax state like Georgia or Ohio, your effective total tax burden is approximately 27 to 31%. Let's call it 29%. That is $21,750 gone before you receive a single dollar. Your real starting point is $53,250, not $75,000. Most finance channels stop here and say, that's why you need to invest. Here's what they miss. The money is only one part of the equation. The other part is time. Let's calculate what your job actually costs you in hours. You work 40 hours a week. But here is the part nobody counts. How long is your commute? The average American commute is approximately 27 minutes each way, 54 minutes per day, roughly 4.5 hours per week. Add 30 to 45 minutes per day to get ready for work in a way you specifically wouldn't if you weren't going to an office. That is another 3 hours per week. Add decompression time after work, the hour you need to mentally leave the job before you can actually be present with your family, your dinner, your life. That is another 5 hours per week, conservatively. We are now at approximately 52 to 55 hours per week that belong to your employer, not 40. And not one of those extra 12 to 15 hours is paid. Keep watching, because what comes next is the part most people never figure out. Now let's look at what the job costs you in money. Work-related expenses are real costs that exist solely because you are employed. Transportation, gas, parking, train passes, or Uber to the office. The national average for commuting costs is approximately $3,000 per year. Work clothing and maintenance. Even in a business casual environment, you're spending $600 to $1,500 per year on clothes you would not buy otherwise. Work lunches and coffee. Even if you pack lunch 3 days a week, the average office worker spends between $2,000 and $3,000 per year eating and drinking around their job. Childcare. For dual-income households with children, childcare is directly subsidizing the second income. The average full-time childcare cost in the United States is approximately $15,000 to $20,000 per year per child. For simplicity on this example, let's use a conservative work-related expense total of $6,500 per year, no childcare included. Take that from $53,250. You are now at $46,750 of actual usable income. Here's where it gets really interesting. Now, we divide. $46,750 divided by 52 weeks. That is $899 per week. Divide that by 53 hours of your life the job actually consumes each week. And you get $16.96 per hour, $17 an hour. That is what a $75,000 salary is actually paying you in real-life dollars per real-life hour. Not the $36 per hour the offer letter implied. That number changes the entire conversation. Now here's what this calculation is not saying. It is not saying you should quit your job. It is not saying a salary is a trap with no exit. It is saying something much more specific and much more useful. It is saying that your time is worth more than you have been led to believe, and every financial decision you make should be evaluated against that real number, not the fictional one. Think about what this does to how you see a raise. Your employer offers you $3,000 more per year. Before taxes, that sounds meaningful. After taxes, it is roughly $2,100. Divided by your actual hours worked, that raise is adding about $0.76 per real hour to your life. Less than $1 per hour of the real hours that job consumes. Now think about lifestyle inflation through that lens. You get that $3,000 raise and you upgrade your apartment by $200 a month. That is $2,400 per year. You have just spent the entire raise on a slightly nicer place to decompress from the job that gave you the raise. This is why net worth stagnates at income levels that should produce wealth. It is not irresponsibility. It is a mathematical structure that most people never see clearly enough to fight back against. The psychological shift that changes everything is this: stop pricing purchases in dollars, price them in real hours. A $400 weekend trip is not $400. It is 23.5 hours of your actual life that you will never get back. A $1,200 couch upgrade is 70 hours. A $65,000 car loan at current interest rates will cost you approximately $75,000 in total payments, which is 4,400 real hours of your life. More than 2 full years of work hours. When you see money as time, discretionary spending recalibrates automatically. I'm going to show you something in just a minute that took me 2 years to learn, but first, let me give you the number that makes this actionable. This is the part most people completely miss. Most salaried employees believe that replacing their $75,000 income requires building something that generates $75,000 per year. It does not. Because your job is not actually giving you $75,000. It's giving you $46,750 after taxes and expenses, which means any income stream that generates $46,750 per year, with zero commute, zero mandatory clothing, zero required lunch spending, zero decompression cost, already matches your real take-home. And because passive income from investments is taxed at the lower long-term capital gains rate rather than ordinary income, it often nets even more per dollar generated. The actual replacement number for most salaried employees is 30 to 40% lower than their headline salary. For $75,000, the real replacement target is approximately $42,000 to $48,000 in passive or business income per year. At a 7% annual withdrawal rate on invested assets, which is conservative, that requires approximately $600,000 to $685,000 in assets. Not $1 million, not $2 million. Between $600,000 and $685,000. That number is achievable for most disciplined savers in their 30s and 40s if they start with clear intent. So here are the 3 immediate changes that increase your true hourly rate without changing jobs. First, automate savings before you spend. A fixed percentage of every paycheck, even 10% twice, moves to a wealth-building account before lifestyle gets a chance to absorb it. This increases your real hourly value because you are actually keeping more of each real hour you work. Second, reduce work-related expenses. Not dramatically. Intentionally. Brown bag 3 days a week instead of 1. Renegotiate your commute or ask for 2 remote days per week. Reduce by $1,500 per year in work expenses, and you have just added roughly $0.57 per real hour to your compensation, equivalent to a meaningful raise without your employer's involvement. Third, begin building one income stream that runs independently of your time. It doesn't need to be large. It needs to exist. A $20,000 index fund position earning 7% annually is generating $1,400 per year in wealth, while you sleep, while you commute, while you decompress. That is money that is not trading your hours for dollars. And once you have one stream like that, the psychology of your entire financial life begins to shift. You have agency, more than you're willing to accept right now. The $75,000 salary is not the enemy. The misunderstanding of what it actually is, that is what keeps people stuck. Now you have the math. All right, so today we covered the real hourly rate behind a $75,000 salary, exactly why that number is far lower than the offer letter implies, and 3 specific changes that raise your true hourly value immediately. If this helped you even a little bit, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need this kind of content. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the bell icon so you never miss a video like this. We drop new finance content every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. And if you want to go even deeper on how to build the asset base that replaces your salary entirely, I've linked a video right here. Go check that out next. I'll see you there. Have a prosperous day.